Anna von Hausswolff is a singer-songwriter, pianist, organist, composer. Her debut album Singing from the Grave featured a lot of very stripped-back piano ballads like The Book. The sound wasn't nearly as dark as it got on her next album Ceremony, which was mainly led by the church organ, a very interesting choice of instrument to lead the way. But Anna von Hausswolff certainly uses it well, with a lot of drony, haunting, creepy but beautiful songs. I would certainly recommend this one. Then following it up in 2015 with The Miraculous, which was definitely her darkest, gloomiest, most gothic album to date. However, I did think The Miraculous meandered a little bit. That is all changed on Dead Magic, her most harrowing and sinister album yet. Because this album is only 5 tracks long, I could really just dig right into them, so let's just do that. Track number 1, The Truth, The Glow, The Fall. The choice of instrumentation on this track is absolutely mint. We have violins, we have a church organ, droning, we have a blissful clashing of sounds for the second third of the track. Like, it really brings to mind the image of sunlight pouring in through the mansion windows. And then during the last third also, the track begins to gain even more of an opening, like there's this big gaping pit, and it's getting ready to swallow even more. And we hear this voice yelling to us from the abyss. This album contains Anna's most evocative tracks yet. This is then followed by track number 2, The Mysterious Vanishing of Electra. Each hit of guitar is like a stomp on the ground, and over the top Anna displays her full vocal power, vibratos and all. She wails and she screams like she is calling out for her life. Definitely raised the hairs on the back of my neck. This is then pursued by what I think might be my favourite track on this entire album, stretching to about 12 minutes in length, ugly and vengeful, with drones and moans. The organ is truly terrifying, and once the drum beat picks up the pace, the track makes you feel like you're sinking deeper and deeper down a hellish stairwell. Come the final quarter, this track continues to be stunning as we only hear these sounds grow and swell and get more sinister. Menacing might be the word really. And if you thought you hadn't heard enough organ yet, then track 4, The Marble Eye, will certainly treat you to that. It could definitely be a track off Ceremony. It's like this album's just taking every moment to hammer in the darkness that was displayed on the previous track. It's constantly building. Ugh, just gives me absolute chills. This is then settled down a little bit more on the final track, which has a title that I wish I could even begin to pronounce, but it is in Swedish, ending off with a dark ambient piece that still features organ, of course. You can't really listen to an Anna von Hausswolff album without expecting a little bit of organ peppered in there, but the strange thing is this one track here just seems a little bit more, like, even if slightly more optimistic than everything else that has been offered on the album thus far. It's like a very satisfying conclusion. It still leaves you open-ended, asking questions and being a bit uncertain, a bit worried. It at least gives a little bit of closure. You see, it's fitting that this album uses the organ a lot because it's quite often that Anna sounds like she's out for yours. Despite some of these tracks being her longest yet, with 2 surpassing the 10-minute mark, everything feels so concise. Compositionally, this album only ever does what it needs to do, not meandering nearly as much as I thought The Miraculous tended to do at a fair few times. And the thing is, each track has its own distinct mood or sound that it's going for. It's enchanting, beautiful, scary, hellish, heavenly, soul-crushing all at once. It's her best album yet, and by a long mile. I'm giving this a very strong 9 out of 10. We out here.